There's two reasons why I picked Gunther. It's because, well, Gunther's one of the people that are rarely seen, but also I wanted to. So now we start up with props to a current WWE superstar, but also a point two, hoping that he's okay, as Finn Balor has been banged up over the last couple of weeks, suffering a grade 2 calf tear heading into WrestleMania, but still giving his WrestleMania match against Edge his all, and also suffering a severe head injury, a severe deep laceration on his cut, a deep laceration on his head during the match with Edge, but going into it with a grade 2 calf tear. Props to Finn Balor, and I think he's earned the respect, and if he hasn't earned the respect of his peers, specifically the executives backstage, I don't know what would get him there, to earn that respect, but I hope he can take a few weeks off at this point and just let Dom and Damian Priest run things as far as the Judgment Day, even if it means Finn just sitting back and being a manager for a couple weeks as he heals up. I would just love to see him heal up and get 100%, because if Finn Balor's match at WrestleMania against Edge was him at 75% or him at even 60%, can you imagine how good it would have been if he was at 100%? But props to Finn Balor for giving it his all in that situation. But again, I wish nothing but the best to him, and I hope that he can heal up and become 100% once again. Speaking of somebody I wish nothing but the best to, Brian Cage has decided to re-sign with AEW, and stick with Ring of Honor, as Tony Khan has big plans for the embassy in Ring of Honor and wants to keep the embassy together, and that is the reason why Brian Cage remains with AEW instead of making a jump to WWE. I think Brian Cage would have been a welcome sight to WWE, but also with the amount of people like Bronson Reed and, with Bronson Reed and Walter and all those other guys, Brian Cage does not stick out as well as he does in AEW, so that could have been the reason why Brian Cage decided to stay with AEW, because he sticks out a little bit easier as being one of the bigger fishes in AEW and not a small fish in a big pond in WWE. Now, we slide over to NXT as we have a new number one contender, the first number one contender for Carmelo Hayes, and that is Grayson Waller, as Grayson Waller is set to challenge the new NXT champion in 2 weeks at NXT Spring Breakout, which is a branded special. I do believe so. It is a branded special similar to Roadblock, but we will do our normal preview for that event when it gets closer, as the next special event for NXT, I do believe, is Battleground on May 27th. But Melo is gonna show that Melo don't miss when he steps in the ring with Grayson Waller in a few weeks at Spring Breakout, or Spring Breakin'. Gunther, speaking of Gunther, or in this case Walter, there have been rumors that Brock Lesnar they are looking for a dream match for Brock at SummerSlam, and it's rumored that the dream match for Brock at SummerSlam would be the man featured in the ring right now, Walter, or the reigning, defending, undisputed WWE Intercontinental Champion, Gunther. Honestly, I think Gunther and Brock could do something similar to what Brock and Bobby Lashley did. But if they did do that, then WWE would need to understand that the fact of the matter is they can't have Gunther win like Brock did, but also with the fact that Brock just lost I mean, with the fact that Brock just turned heel on Cody Rhodes, if you're going to have Brock and Gunther, then you have to turn Gunther babyface. Because you can't just flip Brock back. You can't just flip Brock back. You have to understand that Gunther needs to turn. Which I think is the natural progression for the ring general. And I do believe it might have actually been Gunther that may have mentioned that. But the fact of the matter is, I'm also under the impression that if Gunther and Brock lock horns, Gunther needs to win the feud, not Brock. Because Brock, as he even mentioned in an interview, he doesn't know how much longer he's going to be doing this, so Brock will be gone sooner than Gunther, and Gunther needs it more to be proven, to prove himself, and to move up to the next level. Because the fact of the matter is, Gunther is approaching the next level. Brock is not approaching the next level. And the fact is, Gunther needs that push, Brock doesn't. Simple as that. Because I just want to point out that the next progress, or the next progression, would be a dream match, Gunther versus Roman Reigns. So I'm not saying that Brock and Gunther lock horns once and then Gunther loses, or Gunther wins. I'm saying you do what they did with Brock and Brock and Lashley, and you have Gunther win clean, not like you had Lashley win via disqualification. Because also, Brock and Lashley need to finish their unfinished business and go to a clean finish, but that's just my opinion. Now we also slide over to a quick hit, and that is Vince McMahon's new contract. As according to reports, Vince McMahon's new contract has a non-harassment clause and a code of conduct because, get this, because Vince has people above him now. So he has to abide by the traditional code of conduct and non-harassment policies that normal employees have to abide by, but Vince never had to abide by because he was the almighty ruler of the promotion, but now he has to because he's not the almighty ruler. But it is good that Vince has to abide by that rule because now you have a way, if Vince messes up again, or if stuff happens like it did last year, honestly, if stuff happens like it did last year, then Vince will likely be out of WWE. Simple as that. And honestly, I would not be disappointed. Not to say I don't like Vince or anything like that, but, you know, did the company need him back? Did the company really need him back? I don't know. But now I saved this announcement for last. Because it was the biggest, the most important announcement in my opinion, and that is the fact that Dark Side of the Ring Season 4 is official and will be coming back Tuesday, May 30th, with a 10-season run, or 10-episode run. And some of the episodes this season include Bam Bam Bigelow, Abdullah the Butcher, The Sandman, and Chris Candido and Sonny. And I can honestly say there is no announcement that I have been more excited about than the return of Dark Side of the Ring. I am looking forward to it. Jason and Evan always do a wonderful job producing these documentaries, and I'm looking forward to see who will be filling out the rest of the season, as the only person that I think that has been unannounced thus far, or that hasn't been announced thus far, is a possible episode on Adrian Adonis. Either way, I for one am looking forward to seeing what to expect from Darkseid Season 4. With that being said, though, that is it for the news, and I will see you in the next one.